dang, look at this. Well, that's the best cheese pull I've ever seen in my life. Good morning, adventurers.
Good morning.
And welcome to Chicago.
So this city is known for a lot of things.
First off, it's known for some pretty incredible architecture.
A big old reflective bean.
Lots and lots of wind.
And of course, pizza. Sweet, delicious pizza. Oh yeah.
Now, some people can be very opinionated about Chicago-style pizza. Some absolutely love deep dish, others say it's just a casserole in disguise.
But we are not here to argue, we are here to eat. So we are going to be checking out 3 iconic Chicago-style pizza spots to see which one is worth your dough.
Your dough, that's a good one.
ChatGPT wrote that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well he might be funnier than you are.
Yeah, maybe. All right, enough talking, more eating. First up on our little pizza adventure, we went to try a real authentic Chicago-style deep dish pizza. To do that, we came to a place called Lou Malnati. So there are obviously a ton of places in Chicago to get authentic Chicago-style pizza. And if you say one is the best, there's probably someone out there who will fight you for it and claim that their place is the best. So argue amongst yourselves in the comments if you want to, but definitely let us know your favorite place to get Chicago-style deep dish pizza. But we settled on this place because it has been a staple of Chicago for decades. And they should have a pretty legit deep dish pie.
In fact, Chicagoans love it so much there are over 60 locations in the city alone.
So it is a chain, but I think it's one of those chains that was so good that it just kind of spread and has stayed more or less good, depending on who you ask, over the years.
Pizza has arrived, and it is one of the most beautiful things that I have ever laid eyes on, y'all.
You know, I don't think I've ever had a legit Chicago-style deep dish pizza before, but this looks very legit. I mean, to me, I don't know.
This is even better than I was hoping and dreaming for. So this is a Chicago deep dish pizza. It is in a deep dish pan, so the crust should be really flaky and buttery in there, nice and crispy around the edges. And unlike traditional pizza, where it's the sauce then the cheese toppings, this is inverted. So all the cheese and toppings are on the bottom with the sauce on top.
You know, I always thought it was weird that they called them pizza pies, but this makes a lot of sense. This is literally a pie.
I'm sad to disturb this. It's so beautiful, but okay.
It must be done.
Okay, so when you come here, they will plate it for you if you're a little scared like me, but let's see if I can do this. Oh God, it's so
You gotta
heavy.
get under it more.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Yes, 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 yes.
I've never seen a cheese pull like that. Holy cow.
Look at how deep this is and how much cheese is in there. You can see the layers here. The traditional is with this sausage that we've got on there. You see the nice fresh tomato sauce, all the delicious cheese, and then that delicious crust down in there.
And then of course, a pile of cheese. It makes sense now why you eat it with a knife and fork, huh?
Yeah, right? I should not even attempt with my hands.
No.
All right, my first legit bite of Chicago-style pizza. That's a lot of cheese. Oh my God. All right, I cut it into a more manageable slice of pizza. You guys, I mean, the cheese is so fresh and gooey in there. The sausage, they say it's lean. I'm gonna pretend that means it's healthy, but it's just got so much spices and herbs in there, and then the fresh tomato sauce on top. It's really just like huge chunks of tomato in there. Even though it's nice and juicy on top, the crust is nice and crunchy and golden. Oh my God. It's like almost focaccia type of bread. I think there's a lot of oil, maybe butter in there. Chicago, dang.
We've been missing out.
I'm almost 40 years old. How has it taken me this long?
I can see why people compare this to a casserole. It actually looks like a big piece of lasagna or something. This is a huge pizza. I'm using my hands. I don't care what anybody says. It's a pretty good piece of pizza. All right, I'm in love with the pizza. I think it tastes amazing. The ingredients are all fresh, so flavorful. The crust is my favorite part though. It's so crunchy and buttery. It's like eating a little pizza cracker. It's really good. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is one of my favorite pizzas I've ever had in my life. The more I eat it, the more I love it. The sausage is so delicious. It's the best meat I've ever had on a pizza. This is what every sausage pizza should have on it. It's incredible.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot because we are diehard pepperoni fans.
Yeah,
so
that is true. I don't need no pepperoni on this deep dish.
No, looks like we actually like a little sausage with our deep dish.
So Chicago-style pizza was born in the 1940s when I guess someone looked at a regular piece of pizza and was like, you know what if this was 2 inches thicker and required a knife and fork? Pizzeria Uno was the first to serve up this glorious saucy monster. It was a pie so thick that you could probably use it as a dumbbell in your next workout. You know, burn off the calories while you ingest the thousands of calories. I can't stop. But since those early days, this pizza has become quite controversial, and a lot of people just defend to the death which pizza is the best. Some people say that this doesn't even count as pizza because you have to use a knife and a fork. And then I guess there's a bit of a feud between Chicago-style pizza and New York-style pizza.
So let me explain something. Deep dish pizza is not only not better than New York pizza, it's not pizza.
I'm not gonna weigh in on that. I don't care what city I'm in, I just wanna eat it.
Do you want pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening?
I prefer it at supper time. But if you put it on a bagel, then I will eat pizza anytime. Man, I really miss the 90s.
They had some great jingles.
Yeah, that was the decade, man. We're getting a little off track here. All right, onward and to more pizza. We're currently hanging out in the Lincoln Square area of Chicago, and we found ourselves a coffee shop right next to the pizza place called Aroma. Can recommend, it is very delicious. So you guys know we drink a lot of coffee, and we figured it up recently that we spend over $300 per month on coffee. So it might be a little bit of an addiction at this point, but it kind of got us thinking that we might want to start doing a little bit better of a job tracking our finances. And that's why we started using Rocket Money, and they are actually partnering with us on this little saucy adventure of ours. Rocket Money is a super easy to use personal finance app that helps you manage subscriptions, lower your bills, create a budget, and even grow your savings all in one place. It's basically the financial equivalent of a deep dish pizza. You know, layers of useful tools stacked on top of each other, except in this case with a lot less cheese. Do you like that one?
It was a little cheesy, if you ask me.
Rocket Money showed us every subscription we were signed up for, some of which we had completely forgotten about, and canceling the ones we didn't need just took a couple taps. So no awkward phone calls and no endless emails.
So now that we're saving all that money, that means that it's okay that we're spending all this money on coffee, right?
Exactly what I was thinking. So if you're trying to cut your expenses, save more money, or just finally take control of your finances, you should check out Rocket Money. You can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or click the link in the description to get started for free. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna drink our coffee, chill out, and try to work up a little more of an appetite. Who knew it would be so much work eating all this pizza?
But I think we're up for the challenge.
I think so.
Well, we started out this delicious pizza adventure with the biggest, baddest piece of pizza we could find. And now we are going the opposite direction, y'all. We're going teeny tiny. I'm talking about thin crust pizza. But here in Chicago, it is also known as Tavern style. So to try it, we came to Pat's, which comes highly recommended for their Tavern style pizza. In fact, they have a sign on the building that says they are the #1 spot. I guess we'll be the judge of that, Pat.
Good one.
So this is the Tavern style pizza, and you guys, I think we might have made a mistake.
You look like a baby person compared to it.
We should have gotten the medium. 16 inches didn't sound that big.
Yeah,
But
well, this is apparently 16 inches. So.
the Tavern style pizza is a very thin crust pizza, almost cracker-like on the bottom.
This is like a tenth of the thickness of the deep dish pizza.
Oh my gosh, it's like a piece of paper compared to the deep dish. But it is a bit more traditional, having the sauce on the bottom and the cheese and toppings on the top. But because it's Chicago, they have cut it into squares. So what I read is that this started in taverns, obviously, because they wanted a way for people to stick around and drink more. And they didn't have plates, they only had napkins, so they decided to cut it into squares because a square fits on a square napkin.
Is that true?
I don't know, that's what the internet says.
It's a good story.
Yeah, I like it, I'm gonna go with it. Let's see how this compares. I don't really know, honestly, if you can compare it. They're so different. Ooh, that's crunchy. All right, well, that is a much more manageable amount of dough and cheese for sure. It is very crackery under there. I don't know if you can hear that. It was very crunchy to chew.
You feel like you're not getting as good of a deal though? Because basically you'd have to like stack 4 or 5 of these up to be even close.
I guess that is true, but I think my body is gonna appreciate this one a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt this is more like the style of pizza that I'm used to. It is good, but is it as good as the deep dish we had? I'm gonna say no.
I don't know, they've got different things going for them. I love the sauciness of this one.
It's obviously much more manageable, I think. If I hadn't had the deep dish, I'd be like, oh, the sausage is amazing. But the sausage on the deep dish was like the best meat I've ever had on a pizza. So that's gonna be a little bit hard to beat, but it was nice and crunchy, full of flavor. I'd say I'd give Pat a little pat on the back for that one. That's the best I can do. Yeah, I didn't write that one.
Uh-oh, word's out. Everyone's coming for the pizza at Pat's. It flew on it like it knew what it was doing. Come here, little
This
guy.
ladybug has found heaven.
Yeah. Now it's like, no! Well, we managed to eat about half of the pizza, but the rest will live to see another day.
When I planned that shot, I was actually thinking he'd bring me a pizza box. That's what it was supposed to transition to, but this will have to do.
This is much more practical. You can just pop this whole bad boy in the oven.
Yeah, it is pretty smart. Mm-hmm. All right, more pizza to put in the fridge. All right, our pizza adventure is continuing. We have one more pie that we really want to try. While we were sitting there at Pat's, about 100 different guys came by and picked up pizzas for delivery. So we figured we're gonna take the easy way out and get this last pie delivered. So we're just back at our little Airbnb apartment that we've been staying at. Is it almost here?
You guys, it has been quite the experience. I forgot that, you know, if you get a deep dish pizza, it takes 30 minutes to make. We ordered it at rush hour, so we're just waiting patiently now. But it has been raining all day. It's kind of cold and gross out there, so we thought this is the perfect way to get pizza, right? Delivered straight to our mouths. If you can believe it or not, I still want more pizza, so I'm very excited for this.
Pizza never gets old. I think that's what we're proving more than anything in this video.
Yes, it's for science, for pizza science. Rainbow going out here. Is that a good sign?
Rainbows don't lead to gold, they lead to pizza.
Well, once again, we have ordered way too much, you guys. I'm gonna guess this is maybe 5-10 pounds worth of food.
Right this way, madame.
Happily. Golly, it smells so good. So we have had a deep dish pizza, we've had a thin crust pizza. If you combine those two pizzas, you get this.
Oh, shoot.
You get this. Oh my gosh, this is a stuffed pizza.
I have never seen anything like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
It's just,
this is almost twice the thickness of the deep dish.
this should be 2.5 to 3 inches, y'all. And this is literally like a pizza on top of a pizza. We ordered this from Nancy's Pizza, which is the inventor of stuffed pizza. So it's basically a deep dish pizza, but then they put an extra layer of dough on there and extra cheese and sauce on top.
Which is exactly what all pizzas have been missing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
More cheese,
Another
more sauce,
layer.
more dough. I think I'm more excited about this pizza than any of the others that we've tried. I mean, look at it. I can't tell if it's a horrible monstrosity or the most beautiful pizza I've ever seen.
I think it might be a literal work of art.
Yeah. All right. What do I do here?
Yeah, get that spatula.
God dang! Look at this. Ah! Well, that's the best cheese pull I've ever seen in my life. Yep. Just slather that on there. Oh my! What is this? So this is a knife and fork situation, right? I mean, there's no possible way to eat this with your hands.
It'd be like trying to eat lasagna with your hands, I feel like. Oh, maybe you're doing it. Okay.
Ha! Oh, baby. That's a lot of cheese. I never knew there could be such a thing as too much cheese. This might be it. We might have found it.
Achieved it.
We went with the sausage, pepperoni, and green peppers. This sausage is delicious. It's been delicious on every single pizza that we've gotten. It is legit sausage, man. But it is just so saucy. The crust is actually pretty thin down there, so that's pretty interesting. It's only like a 1/4 inch thick, and then the toppings are just piled on top of there. And then look at this wall of crust on the back. That is like no pizza I've ever seen in my life. It's definitely more so in the pie territory than it is the pizza territory. I'm not complaining about it.
I'm so impressed. That guy was in the car with this for an hour and it's still hot and the cheese is still like pulling apart. The story about this pizza is that a couple moved to Chicago, opened a pizza shop, and they were serving thin crust pizza. And someone was like, hey, you guys should try doing that deep dish pizza that's getting so popular. But they were like, We don't want to do what everyone else is doing. We think we can do it better. There's an Easter pie that people eat back in Italy that is basically just multiple cheeses and multiple meats crammed together as if it's a pie. And he was like, well, why don't I do that but with pizza ingredients? And so this beauty was created. This might be a pizza monster, actually.
Yeah, it is.
I think there's an entire bag of cheese on every piece.
But this wall of crust back here is still pretty crunchy. Not as crunchy as the deep dish was, but the deep dish wasn't sitting in a guy's car for an hour. Considering though, that's pretty damn tasty. I feel like I'm gonna have to put little subtitles for most of this video. Gotta keep talking with my mouth full.
Yes.
Sorry. Well, the pizza has been conquered. Which one was your favorite if you had to pick?
Oh.
That's the question.
Boy. The original deep dish.
Yeah.
I think that one's my favorite.
I'm gonna have to say the same thing.
Yeah.
The original deep dish from Lou Malnati, is that where it was?
Yes.
Yeah, that one was just one of the most delicious pizzas I've ever had. The sausage on top was incredible. The crust was so crunchy. Maybe we didn't give this one a fair chance because we had it delivered to us. It was still delicious in spite of that. We were kind of surprised.
Yeah, I just don't know that this amount of cheese is ever going to be appropriate, even if it is piping hot.
We did enjoy the tavern style thin crust, but I think maybe it's just, you know, the typical type of pizza we've had so many times. So while it was good, there wasn't anything super special about it for us. For the Chicago pizza connoisseurs out there, if you are just steaming right now and pissed off at how we ate the pizza with our hands or went to the wrong place or didn't use the right terminology, well,
Screw you.
yeah, screw you.
Leave in the comments below what you think is the best and where you like to go. And then when other people come and visit, they can go to those.
The thing is, we could only try so much pizza, and we aren't really wanting to spend too much time downtown.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of around the outskirts, but I think we did a pretty good job. I think we got a sense of what the Chicago pizza scene is all about.
Right, and you guys, before this trip, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that tavern style and stuffed pizza were even things. All I had known was the classic deep dish. So I'm so happy that we came and we tried all the different types. They're all delicious. Just the original was the best. So this is the real reason we wanted to get delivery. So we could sit on the couch, chill, eat our pizza, and watch a movie on the world's smallest TV.
Can you guys believe this? This is the living room. This is the TV they give you.
So I think that's an official wrap on our pizza adventure. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, that's all the pizza that I can stuff in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know, minus the extra piece or two I'm about to eat.
Well, oopsie.
But you know what happens next? Pizza cheers.
No!
You better do it. Do it.
Goodbye, adventurers.
We'll see you on the road. Get in there.
God, that sound effect.